if I have a guy on my team that if they mess up, they'll admit to it and they'll try and take actions to fix it as quickly as they can. I mean, who cares if they messed up if they're working on a solution? The last thing I really want to highlight, which I think is incredible about your story, is how you went and followed up with the CEO or on your interviews. That's something I don't think people realize they can do. They think, oh, I botched this question, I'm probably not going to get this job. You can be completely proactive and say, hey, I messed up when I was doing consulting on a case question. I completely botched this one. I think they asked me how much like a school bus would weigh. And I did some really bad math. I think I got the equation for a cylinder wrong. Like I completely, I was like, oh, like, but after the fact, I went back and I was like, hey, I realized that I did this math wrong. I wanted to make sure that that I'm going to follow up on this and get this right. That to me is an even more important quality than, being really sharp with numbers or good at math, is that you have someone that's going to make sure they do it right, or that follows up on things, or is going to take the time to follow through.
I feel that comes out from honestly, I think that comes from school mentality, because in school you submit a test, you're like, okay, that's done. So you don't have a chance to argue, you don't have a chance to interact with a teacher, I guess, same as the CEO. So I felt that even the moment I submitted it and you get the score immediately, I missed that question. I don't understand how for that night, for the rest of the night, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed that question. Next morning, I'm like, okay, this is not a school. We can Google answers here. We can even in the work, they're not gonna penalize you for Googling. In school, you're not allowed to go on the internet, but at work you can't. So all I did was, okay, this is a real world job. Like I said, if you need engagement, you need to go out and engage with people. I started learning. I'm like, okay, this is how I solve it. I sent him back. I'm like, I'm not gonna stop learning, even though I got it wrong. That is one of the most important qualities that he wanted. When I was on the phone call with him, he was like, regardless of skills, the most important thing that I'm looking for in a candidate is a person who is going to be constantly learning, because his job is I guess it's this, you can think of it as a startup atmosphere. I guess startup atmosphere is a good way to describe it. So they're constantly moving. They're moving quick because they're trying to automate their finance. So he wanted a person who's always going to be learning, even a year in or 6 months in, he's always going to be learning. I'm like, okay. I told him, yeah, I'm learning, but the only way he actually saw that is when I got a question wrong, I didn't stop to oh, I missed it. He must think I'm so dumb. What's happening? I'm blaming myself or blaming what happened. No, you just do what's best. You learn from your mistakes and you grow. And that shows that you actually want to learn. It shows you're not just going to submit a wrong project. You're just going to sit back and oh my God, I submitted a wrong project. What am I going to tell the customer? No, you just be like, hey, I did this wrong. I learned from the mistakes. Here's how I would improve it next time.
Yeah, I think that accountability is really important too. I mean, that's what you want when you're dealing with stakeholders, when you're communicating with your team. If I have a guy on my team that if they mess up, they'll admit to it and they'll try and take actions to fix it as quickly as they can. I mean, who cares if they messed up if they're working on a solution? Even if it's kind of a big blunder, it's like, look, they're self-aware enough that they're putting kind of the company first, they're putting all of those things first rather than their ego or anything like that.